Type NM cable, often referred to as ROMIX, is governed by specific installation requirements outlined in the National Electrical Code, specifically Section 336.4 of the 1999 edition. This section explicitly states that Type NM cable is permitted for both exposed and concealed work, but only in normally dry locations. The key phrase here is normally dry locations. This term has a very specific meaning within the context of the NEC, and it directly impacts the acceptability of using Type NM cable in environments such as below-grade crawl spaces. Based on the description, the crawl spaces in question are characterized as humid, damp, and sometimes wet due to rainwater infiltration. This environmental condition immediately disqualifies these spaces from being considered normally dry locations according to the NEC. The code mandates that electrical installations must be suitable for the environment in which they are placed. Using Type NM cable in a damp or wet location would violate this fundamental principle and could lead to several potential problems. Firstly, the paper wrapping and other materials used in Type NM cable are susceptible to moisture absorption. This absorption can degrade the insulation properties of the cable, leading to a reduction in its ability to prevent electrical leakage. Secondly, moisture can promote corrosion of the conductors within the cable. Corrosion increases the resistance of the conductors, which in turn can lead to overheating and a potential fire hazard. Thirdly, the presence of moisture can create a path for electrical current to flow between conductors or to ground, resulting in a short circuit or ground fault. This can not only damage the electrical system, but also pose a serious safety risk to individuals who may come into contact with the affected area. To ensure compliance with the NEC and to maintain a safe and reliable electrical system, it is essential to use a cable type that is specifically rated for use in wet or damp locations. One such cable type is Type UF, standing for Underground Feeder Cable. Type UF cable is designed with a moisture-resistant jacket that provides a high degree of protection against water penetration. The conductors within Type UF cable are also typically made of corrosion-resistant materials. These features make Type UF cable suitable for direct burial in the ground, as well as for use in damp or wet locations such as the crawl spaces described. When selecting a cable for a particular application, it is crucial to carefully consider the environmental conditions and to choose a cable type that is listed and labeled for the specific environment. The NEC provides detailed information on the proper use of various cable types, and it is important to consult the code to ensure compliance. Ignoring these requirements can have serious consequences, including electrical failures, fires, and potential injury or death. To further clarify the requirements for electrical installations in damp or wet locations, it is helpful to examine other relevant sections of the NEC. For example, Article 300 of the NEC covers general wiring methods and materials, and it includes specific requirements for installations in wet locations. This article specifies that wiring methods and equipment used in wet locations must be identified for use in such environments. This means that the equipment must be designed and constructed to prevent water from entering or accumulating in a way that could compromise its performance or safety. Another important consideration is the proper grounding of electrical systems. Grounding helps to protect against electrical shock by providing a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source. In wet or damp locations, it is particularly important to ensure that the grounding system is properly installed and maintained. This includes using corrosion-resistant grounding electrodes and connectors. Additionally, ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are often required in wet or damp locations to provide additional protection against electrical shock. GFCIs are designed to detect small imbalances in current flow and to quickly interrupt the circuit, preventing a potentially fatal shock. In summary, the installation of Type NM cable in the described below-grade crawl spaces would not be in compliance with the NEC requirements because these crawl spaces do not meet the definition of a normally dry location. Instead, a cable type that is specifically rated for use in wet or damp locations, such as Type UF cable, should be used. It is important to consult the NEC and to follow all applicable requirements to ensure a safe and compliant electrical installation. In addition to cable type, There are other important considerations for electrical installations in damp or wet locations. Firstly, electrical boxes and enclosures must be rated for the environment. Boxes listed as NEMA 3R or NEMA 4 are suitable for wet locations, as they are designed to prevent water from entering. Secondly, conduit fittings must also be watertight. Compression fittings or threaded fittings with sealant should be used to ensure a proper seal. Thirdly, wiring methods must be supported properly. Cables should be secured to framing members with straps or staples, and conduit should be supported with appropriate hangers. Fourthly, any splices or terminations must be made in a manner that prevents moisture from entering the connection. Heat shrink tubing or waterproof connectors should be used to protect splices. Fifthly, it's important to consider the potential for physical damage. Cables and conduits should be routed in a way that minimizes the risk of damage from impacts or abrasion. Where necessary, cables should be protected with conduit or other physical barriers. Sixthly, regular inspections should be performed to identify any signs of water damage or corrosion. If any problems are found, they should be corrected promptly to prevent further deterioration. Seventhly, the use of corrosion-resistant materials is crucial in damp or wet locations. Copper conductors are more resistant to corrosion than aluminum conductors. Stainless steel or galvanized steel hardware should be used for supports and fasteners. Eighthly, adequate ventilation can help to reduce moisture levels in crawl spaces. Installing ventilation fans or vents can improve air circulation and prevent the buildup of humidity. Ninthly, proper drainage is essential to prevent water from accumulating in crawl spaces. The ground should be sloped away from the foundation to divert water away from the building. Tenthly, a vapor barrier can help to prevent moisture from migrating from the ground into the crawl space. A plastic sheet or other impermeable material can be installed over the soil to reduce evaporation. Another important aspect to consider is the correct ampacity of conductors. The ampacity of a conductor is its current carrying capacity, and it is determined by the size of the conductor, the insulation type, and the ambient temperature. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacities of various conductors under different conditions. It is crucial to select conductors with an ampacity that is sufficient for the load they will be carrying. If conductors are overloaded, they can overheat and potentially cause a fire. The NEC also specifies requirements for overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect conductors from overloads and short circuits. These devices must be sized appropriately for the conductors they are protecting. If an overcurrent protection device is too large, it will not provide adequate protection. If it is too small, it will trip unnecessarily. Furthermore, voltage drop must be considered in electrical installations. Voltage drop is the reduction in voltage that occurs as current flows through a conductor. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. The NEC recommends limiting voltage drop to 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. To minimize voltage drop, conductors should be sized appropriately and the length of the circuit should be kept as short as possible. Additionally, the NEC addresses the issue of arc fault circuit interrupters, or ASIs. ASIs are designed to detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical conditions that can cause fires. The NEC requires ASIs in certain locations, such as bedrooms, to provide enhanced protection against electrical fires. Arc faults can occur for a variety of reasons, such as damaged insulation, loose connections, or rodent damage. They are often difficult to detect with conventional overcurrent protection devices. Also, surge protection is an important consideration for electrical systems. Surges are transient voltage spikes that can damage electronic equipment. Surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power grid switching, or the operation of heavy equipment. Surge protective devices, or SPDs, are designed to protect against surges by diverting excess voltage to ground. The NEC recommends the use of SPD in certain locations, such as at the service entrance and its sensitive electronic equipment. The selection and installation of electrical equipment must comply with the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC. Equipment must be listed and labeled by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories or UL to ensure that it meets safety standards. Equipment must be installed in accordance with its listing and labeling. Additionally, electrical work must be performed by qualified individuals who are familiar with the NEC and the applicable local codes. Unqualified individuals should not attempt to perform electrical work, as it can be dangerous and can lead to code violations. The local authorities having jurisdiction, or OJ, are responsible for enforcing the NEC and other applicable codes. The AHA may require permits and inspections for electrical work. It is important to contact the AHA before starting any electrical work to determine the specific requirements. Permit applications typically require detailed drawings and specifications of the proposed electrical work. Inspections are performed to verify that the work has been completed in accordance with the code. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and industry practices. It is important to stay up to date with the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that electrical installations are safe and compliant. Many jurisdictions adopt the NEC with local amendment. These amendments may modify or supplement the NEC requirements to address local conditions. It is important to be aware of any local amendments that are in effect in a particular jurisdiction. Continuing education is essential for electrical professionals to stay current with the NEC and other industry standards. There are many opportunities for continuing education, such as seminars, workshops, and online courses. By staying informed and up to date, electrical professionals can ensure that they are providing safe and compliant electrical installations. In summary, the proper selection and installation of electrical equipment in damp or wet locations requires careful consideration of the NEC, the manufacturer's instructions, and the applicable local codes. By following these guidelines, it is possible to create safe and reliable electrical systems that will provide years of trouble-free service.